Hi, and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kendra Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have Bonnie. Bonnie's bomb drop was May of 2020. She has a clinging boomerang and a high energy replayer. Date of marriage is 1987. She says, my clinging boomerang is increasing his contacts. He's visited 4 times in the last 9 days and he lingers. I'm doing well with detachment. He recently bought a Porsche and I haven't brought it up. We've been cordial, we've had respectful and even gleeful and humorous conversations. We worked together with a chainsaw and our 4-wheeler on our properties for about 2 hours yesterday. On the 24th of March, he reiterated that he needs a divorce. He's living with the alienator. He's cycled 4 times since early December. How do I act in his presence without showing too much desire or availability? I struggle with balancing reassuring and cake-eating behaviors. Okay, Bonnie, I'm so glad that you referenced that last part about struggling with reassurance versus cake-eating, because that's exactly what I was going to discuss with you for this, and I will add a link to the article series that goes over the 2 phases of standing when dealing with a clinging boomerang, and those 2 phases are establishing reassurance and then boundary setting. And you can read further on those. But just to let everybody know, it does not mean you're not doing boundaries earlier. They change, though. They take on a different level of importance as well. And your ability to set them will have increased. So establishing reassurance is the first thing you're going to do. So one of the questions we have for you, and you might not know because that's why you're struggling, is have you established reassurance? When dealing with a clinging boomerang, they want to be reassured that you are there, that you believe in them, that you're not going to leave them, that they have their security blanket there, because that is you. They are afraid of abandonment. They're afraid they're going to lose you. And yet, of course, they're doing the abandoning first so that they don't have to lose you. So you want to make sure that reassurance is so established that now when you start to remove it, first thing, they feel a little bit more secure, that it's not really gone. And they're reassured that they want what you have to offer. So that when it is gone and they're afraid, they're more motivated to get it back. Establishing reassurance also has to come along far enough so that they're through some of their own progress in this tunnel. So if you wouldn't have established reassurance in month 1, because it hasn't been long enough for you to establish that, for them to have gone through the things, but also they're in deep limerence. They don't care enough yet. Limerence is still winning. You continue through that to establish the reassurance. Through their limerence, you're showing all of this grace. So I'm going to put that link, and you may read that so that everyone can understand what those phases are and what you're going to do and how to recognize some reassurance when you're doing this. Excuse me. So one of the first things with reassurance that I noticed with Chuck was first that there's a high level of cake eating, and it increased, or it just got to a different kind. And what happened with Chuck was he said, well, I'll just leave you in the morning and then her at night every day. In other words, he was so certain that I would never leave him that he could do whatever he damn well pleased. And when that happened, I knew, okay, I think we've gone too far. And then I was feeling the double bind that Bonnie's feeling right now is, but how do I change it? What do I do? And one of my double binds was I'd made this promise. And I'd put it on a platform, a bit of a religious platform. I'm not fundamental, but I had said, I don't believe in this. And I used that as my platform. Now what do I do? Because taking that platform away, do I lose all credibility? And I had slightly changed some of the things I said. I said, I said I'd never divorce you, and that's true. But that doesn't mean we'll be together. That's paper. We could be emotionally divorced and still have this legal document saying that we're married. And I'm not going to change that. So I just had to scare him that even though I wasn't going to make these legal changes, that, hey, I'm not going to allow you in my life anyway. Now, It's going to come at the level of cake eating and what you do. Watch what you do, what he does when you remove some of the privileges. Because right now, you're right, you're giving him too many. How to act balance reassuring with cake eating. If you feel that he's reassured, I don't want you balancing the two. I want you to have done the one because he's doing the cake eating, you're doing the reassuring. So, well, how do you balance it? He's not going to balance it. The balance is going to go like this. Or, sorry, my hands are off. And it's going to be imbalanced. But you're not the one tipping both sides of the scale. So you can't control that. You get to control your level of reassurance. If you feel that you have reassured him, that it should be done, then you take that away. It means you don't have to continue to give reassurance. You can solidify a form of reassurance. So it is starting to get to be time for stronger boundaries of you are with her, you are living with her. This stuff where we're working here together in our yard, way too much. It's got to stop. We can't do this anymore. You want a divorce from me. If you're going to divorce me, there are some consequences to that. And the consequence of divorcing me is no relationship. Not weddings and funerals. I'm not going to have a relationship with you of those either. You can, if we're at our child's wedding, wave at me from a distance, and I won't wave back, okay? I'm not saying it to be mean, but I'm saying it to understand I don't want you to be in my life if you're not going to be here 100% as an appropriate spouse. So you want to divorce me? Now, there's coming back from divorce. So I don't want you to say that's the line in the sand. I don't ever want to see you again. I'm saying when you change your mind, and I use when. I wouldn't do that with everyone, but if they feel reassured and if they've been used language about how they don't want it, I would use when. If when has reassured them in the past. Otherwise, you can go with if. When you change your mind, you let me know. When you are going to choose to be an appropriate spouse or an appropriate partner or use whatever language will work with them, give me a call. But you want to divorce me? No. You want to continue living with her? But you need to do it now, not with the divorce thing. It's you are living with somebody else. This thing between you and me here where we're working together, no. It's done. If you have to sell things, he might say, well, we have to sell things to get the house ready. Well, you know what? You want to divorce me. And it's not that I'm trying to cost more money, but we're not going to do this together. This is not a partnership because if you're living with somebody else and you're trying to sever the partnership is not happening now. I am not here to help you sever it. It's already done. You need to be very black and white about you may contact me when. Because it is too much already. So I know that it's a struggle and I know that it's scary. But you're in 2 years. And 2 years is right at that point where I feel reassurance is good. It was 2.5 to 3 years in my situation. And he was home for the full from this just before the start of year 2, from month 20 until 12 months after that, month 32-ish. So he was home for that period. So it was a little bit different. Yours is not home right now. And I want it to be where I was when I cut him off after I let him out, after I kicked him out after that period. You tell him, no, I don't want a relationship with you right now. But I want him reassured. The reassurance is when. That is always the reassurance. I would love to have a relationship with you if you would choose to be appropriate. And that means you can't have an alienator. That means no divorce. Try it.